how to make cold calls in real estate. By the end of this video, guys, you are gonna know my exact process that we use in our wholesaling business that allows us to do almost $1 million in gross revenue last year alone. Cold calling has more to do with listening than it ever will be about talking. So what is it that we're gonna be listening for? In this video, I'm gonna share the 4 pillars of motivation, what those are and why it's crucial to listen for them. And I want you to stick with me because number 3 is the one where I see most cold callers make the biggest mistakes. When it comes to doing deals in real estate, when it comes to any marketing channel you're gonna use, not just cold calling, we have to understand that all deals have to have 2 things in place. The 2 things are motivation and equity. Now, equity, that's pretty simple to understand. Equity is just the difference. Let's say someone owes $100,000 on their mortgage. That's what they owe on their home, but the home's worth $200,000. There's $100,000 of equity in that home. So we're looking for homeowners that have equity and homeowners that have motivation. I'm gonna now break down in what I call the 4 pillars what those motivation factors are when you're talking to homeowners. All right, our first pillar of motivation is time frame. Guys, what is it that allows about a time frame that lets us know if a seller has motivation or is motivated? This is something that you need to be listening to and asking questions that promote that. A simple question to understand their timeline or what their time frame is just asking them, hey, if you could have it like crystal ball, when do you want to be out of your house? Or, hey, when are you looking to move? Hey, when are you looking to sell your home? These are just simple questions, but you're asking the right questions so you can start to hear if there's motivation with these sellers. So time frame, what does that look like? We had an individual just recently where my acquisition manager, he's out on the appointment, he's talking with them, and as he's sitting there, he realizes there is some time frame motivation going on. What did that look like? As he talked to him and said, hey, when do you need to do this by? On the initial phone call, guys, it was, oh, just come on out, come take a look at it. We're in no big hurry. And that's how it came out at the very beginning. He goes out on the appointment and he starts to feel like, oh my gosh, I actually do like this guy. I trust this guy, my acquisition manager. So the seller is starting to trust him, like him, and he starts to really open up and tell the reality, tell the true stories. And he says, well, listen, I just had a job offer. And this job offer is taking place in another state. And they told me I have 7 days to be there. Now, this is stressful to me. I'm not the person that is liking to figure out everything. And I'm not the type of person that says, hey, wife and kids, you stay back, I'll move there. Once the home's sold, you come out. Like, we want to do this together. We want to move together. We want to get this as seamless as possible. And so our hope is if there's a way that you can buy our home in 7 days or less, this would be something that we would be excited for. Knowing that helps us know a couple things. First and foremost, that the real estate option, using a traditional real estate agent, that's gone. That's gonna take a normal of anywhere from, like say on minimum, even in a hot market that we're doing, 45 days to close a deal. You've got to find sellers, they got to walk through the house, they're gonna have a due diligence period, they're gonna have a time to see if they pre-qualify with their mortgage company, and 45 days later, they may be able to close on your home. So knowing these things, you start to understand, my goodness, there's some motivation here. And if I can indeed close in 7 days or less, this gives you an opportunity to not just buy the home, it gives you opportunity to buy it at a discount. The second pillar of motivation is condition. Now we're talking about the condition of the home. Some simple questions that you can start asking when you're talking to your seller on the other line. You can start to ask them. And don't ask it in an offensive way like, hey, what's wrong with the house? What's broken on the house? Hey, what needs to be fixed? We don't like those questions. What we like to do is, as they call in, we know their address, we're pulling up a quick county search or even a Zillow search, and it's already telling you, this home's built in 1980. That's good knowledge for us to know because now you know, okay, the home's about 40 years old, and now I know that something had to have been updated by then if this home's gonna be in good condition. So we like to ask that question. Awesome, sounds like a great home. What updates have you done? And they may tell you, oh, no updates. Everything looks great. Well, guys, in 40 years, if there's never been updates, mark my words, we've never ever gone on an appointment where someone says, no updates, it all looks great. It's never looked great. Homes need to be updated and updated frequently. So just asking the right questions, knowing, hey, when's the last time you updated your roof? Oh, well, the roof's only 3 years old. Awesome. Or, yeah, the roof, it's probably at the end stages. It's like, we've been in this home since 1980. Guys, roofs don't last 40 years. They last like 25. So we know that there's gonna be some problems here. If a curled shingle and now water's getting under and causing water damage and mold, it can lead to other things that you can start to see, my goodness, this seller is motivated. And it gives you an opportunity to go in there, be a problem solver, and get a home at a discount. The third pillar of motivation is price. Now guys, I hesitate when I share this one because in most cases, price is actually going to be a deceiver. It's not going to be something that's actually going to allow you to know if there's motivation or not. When you talk to people on the phone, they're not going to just share with you openly what's going on in their life. They're not going to share with you that they're going through divorce or that they're behind on their mortgage or behind on their taxes. They're going to hold that close to them, as they should. They don't know you. You haven't earned any time of building rapport to get that trust, that respect, that you haven't deserved that. You haven't earned that. Guys, these individuals are just as smart as you are. They're not going to just throw out their low ball price, like their rock bottom price that they're willing to take. They're going to start up high so they have room to negotiate. Just like you are going to start way down low so you have room to negotiate. So when people tell you a price over the phone, most times, when I say most, 99 times out of 100, they're going to share a price that doesn't sound like a deal. It sounds like it's full market value. It's okay. Keep listening for these other pillars, because if these other pillars exist of motivation, you go on that appointment and you'll see that through time, building rapport, being the individual that they can open up with, have trust with, like, and respect, you'll start to see that price also drop. Hey guys, before we move on to that fourth and final pillar, I would love for you down below, comment and share with me, what are your craziest stories that you have gone through while cold calling or talking to motivated sellers? What are the crazy stories you have heard? I want you to share those down below so that we can all listen. I love hearing from you. I'm gonna be reading through these, but more importantly, I will chime in and share some of the craziest stories that we have been through. All right, your fourth pillar is driver. Now, driver is what drove them. So if you're sending out marketing, for example, and this is cold calling, but what allows them to stay on the phone? When you're talking to them and they just sit there on the phone, what's the driver? Why are they allowing you to be on the phone with them? Why is it that they haven't hung up on you? Or if you're sending out direct mail, why is it that they called you? What are they responding to? This is our job. Finding the driver. The driver is the one that we pay the most attention to. It could be they're behind on taxes. Are they going to share with you right out of the gate that? Nope. It could be they're going through divorce. It could be a tired landlord that owns a home and their tenant just trashed it, just smoked meth in it, or had animals in there, that dogs and cats, and it just trashed the home, and he is just super frustrated and wants to get rid of the home because he doesn't want to fix it up. He doesn't want to put it back on the market. This is our job. The driver is the most crucial pillar of all of them. You've got to figure out, why are they calling you? Why are they allowing you to stay on the phone with them? Again, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. This is going to be by asking incredible questions, but listening more than you talk. So guys, how do we make cold calls in real estate? Here's a pro tip for you. When you reach out to them, you're probably wondering, okay, what is it that I'm going to say? How do I do it? How do I get people to stay on the phone with me? The first thing is just go right to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Don't be the one that's like hesitant and nervous. They're going to be like, who is this? And they're going to hang up on you. With authority, just simply ask, hey, I know this is out of the blue, but would you consider an offer at your home at 123 Main Street? And then listen to what they say. So when it comes down to all this, we're doing these 4 pillars of motivation. Why are we doing this? Because ultimately what we want is an appointment. We want an appointment to meet with the homeowner so we can see if we can do business with each other. Now guys, it's easy to just say, hey, anyone that calls in, they're motivated, I'm going out there, they wouldn't have let me talk to them, I'm just gonna go out on these appointments. If you do that, you're gonna run yourself ragged. You can't go on every appointment. That's why it's crucial to understand these 4 pillars of motivation and only book appointments if there's at least one of these pillars. If none of these pillars exist, don't go on the appointment just to show up. You're gonna see that you're wasting a lot of time that you could have been talking to other individuals, finding out they have other like motivation pillars, but you wasted it by going out on these cold leads. So take time to review these pillars Make sure you're asking solid questions that reveal this motivation behind these pillars. And if there's any one of those pillars that exist, book the appointment, get out there, and go get the deal. Are you wondering what you're gonna do when you're out on that appointment? Don't you worry, because down below in the description, I've left a link to my negotiation real estate crash course where I'll walk through you the best principles so you can get out there, have solid conversations with motivated sellers, and walk out with the contract.